I think that the most important point to make about Bitcoin is crypto steel. It's digital steel, and it has to be a commodity without an issuer. And if you're not going to be reliant on the efforts of others, Gensler uses this phrase a lot, efforts of others. It's the Howey test. Definition of investment contract is some people making an investment of money based upon the efforts of others. But forget about the idea of whether it's an investment contract or did you invest money. The point really is when you walk out on a steel bridge, you don't want to be reliant upon the efforts of others halfway around the world to make the bridge not collapse. Right? So forgetting about, you don't have to be caught up in the debate over security versus commodity. The real question is, can you create digital material and digital energy? Can you create digital matter? If I want to create a bridge, I need to create it with a material that will not collapse depending upon the opinion of a politician or the opinion of a company. And I don't want to have to worry about a software engineer putting a bug in the code. Right? That's why I trust what? I trust a durable a steel that's been certified after I've seen it successful for 50 years or 100 years. Right? And that's why I wouldn't trust balsa wood. And that's why I wouldn't trust a software actuated bridge. When we break this rule, right, tragedy occurs. If you look at the Boeing 737 MAX debacle, the 737 is a totally safe plane, and it's probably one of the safest planes ever built. They engineered it in the 1970s, the 60s and the 70s, right? It's been flying that long. Why did it start falling out of the skies 50 years later? It's because some well-meaning engineer wanted to improve it. We can make it better. And so the way they made it better is they wrote software, that attempted to compensate for human error, right? Because the software engineers arrogantly thought that they were better than the pilots. And playing God is it's a pretty serious responsibility.
Especially when you have 100 people on the plane, but you have the whole planet on the plane.
Good point. Yeah, I mean, what happened with the 737 is they over-engineered the software, and the software crashed the plane and killed everybody.
Yeah.
And if they hadn't done anything, right, the pilots would have done just fine. I think that's the argument in favor of simplicity, right? Keep it simple, stupid.
Yes.
And in mission critical systems, you see this a lot in the military. You see it when someone's life depends on something. Oftentimes, you would opt for the low-tech solution where you can verify it with your own eyes. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want a piece of software that runs 1 million lines of code that tells me, right, that the thing is stable. I want to test it myself, or I want to see it, right, that it's stable. But I think to your point, the difference is, when software drives a car, the software may kill you. And when software flies an airplane, the software may kill 100 people or 500 people or 1,000. But when software runs the monitoring network, may kill 1 billion. Actually, the truth is we got two problems, two extremes. One extreme, and maybe they're both the same. One extreme is central bankers running the monetary system, and every time they change something, they make it worse.
Yeah. And
we just saw that happen in Britain this week. Just chaos. $1 trillion changes hands, right? And the bankers say, "Oh well, we were busy trying to keep, a bunch of pension funds and institutions from losing from a massive loss of billions of dollars." What they don't say is we were busy keeping a bunch of rational investors on the other side of the trade from making billions of dollars.
Yes, amen.
Right? I mean, they took $100 billion from one group and gave it to another group that happened to be politically connected, and they masquerade as virtuously protecting the system from a meltdown. What they were doing was they were keeping the system from rationally correcting to a fair interest rate and rewarding rational thinkers that did the right thing. And they punished
and incentivizing future, in the future for more people to pile into further risk.
Yeah, they create that moral hazard, right?
Yes,
Punish the wise, reward the foolish, and create an insane world where the only way to get ahead is to act foolish. And if anybody ever fixes the world, everybody dies. So they turn the world upside down.